In 1994, Ford replaced the venerable Fox Mustang platform, which was in production from 1979 to 1993, with something called the Fox 4 or the SN95. This is a Cobra right here, which is a very special car. In many ways, let's dig in. And one thing about these two, they have a unique fascia with these built-in road lights right here, which are not seen on lesser Mustangs or not even the GT in 1994. And there were a total of 5,009 of these things built as coupes, plus about another 1,200 as convertibles, which was the first time the Cobra could be had as a convertible in the Mustang lineup. And again, first year right here for the SN95, and also the first year for 5-lug wheels on Mustang instead of the 4-lug wheels seen on Fox Mustangs. 4-wheel disc brakes on this one right here, and in fact all Mustangs had 4-wheel disc brakes, even the V6 cars in 1994, as Ford moved from strength to strength with the Mustang. Speaking of strength, let's open the hood and find out what we have. And before we get there, here's the venerable Cobra curled Cobra snake right there, grille ornament, first seen on the 428 Cobra Jet Mustangs in 1968. Ford referencing its own history with this here. And again, Cobra means power in the world of Ford. And let's open this up. And again, one thing that Ford did not do with the SN95 was have a proper hood spring support. You still had to use the rod, which goes all the way back to 1979. So they could have done that better, but that's okay. But here under the hood, we have the Cobra goodies, which includes this export brace right here to stiffen the front shock towers, the strut towers, I should say. So in high G maneuvering, there'll be less frame flex and the firewall will be stiffer. Better handling right there. But beyond that, this is the Cobra engine, the 5-liter engine, still a pushrod motor, 302 cubic inches, but perked up to 240 horsepower, courtesy of a set of GT40 heads, crane roller rockers in use in production for the first time in a Ford product, roller rockers, aluminum rockers, and they're baked inside of this. And the manifold itself is unique to the Cobra. It's got bigger runners, a larger throttle body, and the term 5-liter Cobra, instead of being a tacked-on label, an aluminum label, like on a lesser GT, it's actually baked into or cast into the top of the intake plenum. And these were all 5-speed manual cars, no automatics at this point in time. But again, this is a very clean example with very low miles, 3,900 miles. And again, we see the 5-lug wheels on these cars, the SN95s for the first time, versus the 4-luggers, which are not Pinto-based, but sort of economy-based from 1979 through 80 or 93. The 4-lug wheels kind of gave away the Mustang's performance origins or non-origins. So inside we find the 5-speed manual transmission and luxurious interior, saddle leather. And these cars were not cheap. This car would have been $20,765 base in 1994, which is about $5,000 more than a Mustang GT, which would have only had 200 horsepower at this point in time. Of course, the Cobra also had a bespoke trunk spoiler right here, the deck lid spoiler, and a very special car. Dual exhaust, larger diameter pipes, low restriction mufflers, and again, a good example of the breed with under 4,000 miles right here in the flesh. One of the special events happening at the GAA Classic Cars auction here in Greensboro, North Carolina, in the next few days will be the auctioning of this 2022 Ford Mustang GT 500. It's a heritage edition celebrating 55 years since the first GT 500 was built in 1967. You might remember that had a 428 big block under the hood the first time that a Shelby Mustang got a big block. Well, there's a big block in this. This is the 6.2-liter Predator with 760 horsepower courtesy of a supercharger, something that Ford couldn't have dreamt of back in 1967 when the original GT500 had 2 4-barrel carbs, naturally aspirated, no blower, nothing like that. So we've come so far, but very special car. This engine was built on Ford's Romeo niche line. It's signed by Brian Ledger. His autograph is right there on the top of the supercharger intercooler housing. And this is a 10-speed automatic transmission, something Ford could have dreamt of in 1967. These are 4-speed trannies, but a 10-speed automatic, and this shifts faster than any stick ever could. And these have special body parts. This one has the carbon fiber track pack, which consists of a carbon fiber chin spoiler. There's even a spoiler on the deck lid. We'll get to that in a second. And of course, aluminum fenders, aluminum hood, things that of course didn't exist on Mustangs in 1967 or any time thereafter. So it's a beautiful example of the breed with under 10 miles showing on the odometer. Just take a walk over here and look at the window sticker, which is very revealing. Of course, the original GT500 might have been a $6,000 car in 1967 fully loaded, but here we have $114,000 in 2022. But again, this is a GT500, and again, it has the track pack, carbon fiber. We see right here, here's the wing. Exerts downforce, absolutely developed in Ford's wind tunnel, not a you know, a wannabe boy racer kind of an item. This is very functional, does the job. Carbon fiber wheels, massive Brembo four-wheel disc brakes, hand-painted stripes on the roof. And again, this is something that celebrates 55 years of the GT500 legacy. Beautiful example, and this is going to be sold with the proceeds benefiting Serve NC, which is a charity that benefits folks who were impacted by Hurricane Helene a few years back. And so the good cause, bid strong. It's going to be impressive to watch this cross the block.